Now, if you want to be doing well at work and if you want to be doing well at home, you've got to know when to work and when to stop. And I'll be straight with you, that's been something that I've struggled with, and I've really only got the hang of it maybe in the last 6 months. Now, I only work about 30, 35, 40 hours a week. That's all I do. I'm not interested in working more than that in my job. And that's because if I work more than that, I'm not going to get much of a payoff anyway. I could double the amount of time I put into my work and I might only increase profit by 10%. What a waste of my life. So my encouragement to you would be, if you're working more than 45 hours a week, you need to change it. It's not sustainable and you're not getting good value in whatever hours you work that are over, say, 45 hours a week. I actually measure my work hours. I keep track of it so I can make a graph of it at the end of the month so that I can see what's my patterns. I notice that I tend to have a short day on Monday, and then on Tuesdays, I always seem to have such a long day on Tuesdays. I don't know why that is. And then it goes back to being sort of normal the rest of the week. But I can see the pattern. I can limit my work hours. And if I'm noticing a week or two in a row happens where I'm working more hours than I want to do, I can do something about it because I'm measuring it. Okay, what you measure, you can manage. So I'd encourage you to manage your work hours by measuring them. I met another entrepreneur about 6 months ago. I was traveling and he told me that he works 90 hours a week. 90 hours a week, which is more than double what I work. And I asked him, why is that? I'm a consultant who helps people get their work hours under control. I was interested. What do you spend 90 hours a week doing? And he described for me his business that was clearly profitable, but clearly wasn't built on systems. It was built on him. And he described how he just seems to have all these different projects happening at the same time instead of going, let's do this project and this project only, get them done and then move on. So what I got out of that was you really can way reduce your work hours if you focus on the important things. And it's the whole 80-20 thing, that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts. So you've got to work out, where am I going to put my effort that'll have the biggest impact? What's the one thing I need to be doing that'll have a big impact to the health and the long-term profitability of my business? And do that. And let the side projects fall to the side, let them wait till another time, or even forget all about them, because they're not what makes you your money. What makes you your money is doing the few things that matter really well and doing them to a high standard. There's a lot of talk for CEOs or for business owners about, you need to delegate. You need to get some of your work and delegate it. And some of it is just simplifying reality. Some of it is not helpful because you've got to show people what to delegate. There are some things you can delegate quite easily and some things that you don't want to delegate. Some things are not constructive for you to delegate. So I'm a CEO, I run big improvements tutoring. It's almost a $2 million turnover each year. I can't just delegate my marketing to someone. My marketing's too important. The core message of my marketing, it's something that I've really got my head around over the last, say, 5 years. And I know what the market needs to hear. And I can't just go, right, hey you, I'm going to pay you some money to deal with my marketing for me. It doesn't work like that. I can outsource it by paying someone to do the mechanics of where to put those ads and how much to spend on those ads, or how to get the graphic design or whatever for those ads. I can do that, but I can't outsource the message. The core message of that needs to come from either me or someone else in my business who understands it really well, because it's just super high priority. So there are some things that you can outsource, such as getting the marketing in place with your message. But then there's other things like, say, your accounting, your graphic design. There's so many things you can outsource or you can delegate to others. But we fear delegating to others because we think they won't do as good a job as we would. But we don't calculate that. If you don't delegate it to them, you're going to keep doing the tasks you're doing, and you're going to take your eye off the things that matter so much more, that have a much bigger impact on your profitability. So delegating and outsourcing is key to being able to be a hero at work and at home, because otherwise you're at work and you're micromanaging everything because you didn't get rid of it like you should have, or you're at home and your head's ticking over with all the things that you didn't get to because you were too busy micromanaging everything. Another thing to be aware of is when you are working. I'd get probably most of my best work done between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. There's no phone calls ringing, there's nothing that needs my attention, and my kids and my wife are asleep. It's the perfect time of day to get things done. Another time that I'm very productive is between about 10 at night and midnight. because, you know, I've got to spend the afternoon picking my kids up from school, hang out with my wife and kids at dinner, and then they all go to bed. Great, I'll go and knock out some work now when there are no distractions. There's nothing that's going to cause me to deviate from the important task that I'm doing right now. Now, I'm not advocating that everyone should work at midnight. Obviously, for some people that would be a disaster. But for me, those are my peak times, 5 to 7 in the morning and 10 to 12 at night. And the other times when I'm working during the day, I still get stuff done, but they're not my peak times. So if you can come up with peak times that don't impact your family, because there's no impact on my wife if I'm working at 5:30 in the morning. No impact at all. And there's no impact on my kids if they're fast asleep. If you can find times that you're going to be productive at, that they're not going to be impacted by, that's one positive step towards being a real hero at home. Finally, when it comes to balancing the whole entrepreneurship thing with the whole family thing, is we need to be clear with our family about when we're at work. Sometimes I'm at home, maybe it's, you know, say a Friday afternoon, and my kids are not aware of, like, is dad working or is he hanging out? You know, and because that boundary is not clear, they're sort of coming to me wanting my attention, and I'm sort of, you know, pushing my kids off going, look, kids, not now. And really what it comes down to is I didn't say to them, hey, guys, I'm at work. I'll probably be at work for another 2 hours. I should be free after that. And by me not putting that boundary in place and letting them know what's going on, they're then confused and a bit sort of, oh, what's with dad? He doesn't seem very warm at the moment. And it just doesn't have to be like that. So all this stuff about knowing when to work and when to not work, it's important. The barriers that stop people getting that is usually that they don't have systems in place that do things for them, or they don't have staff, or they haven't outsourced their work well enough yet. They're still a work in progress, or that they don't have the profitability to start paying others to do their work for them. But you got to sort out your profitability, you got to sort out your systems, and then you'll be able to massively reduce your work hours and spend a whole lot more enjoyable time at home with your spouse and with your children.